Hi investigators, Mike Evans from the Australian Security Academy with today's support episode for people studying the Diploma of Fraud Control, Diploma of Government Investigation and the Advanced Diploma of Government Fraud Control, Workplace Inspection and Investigation during the COVID-19 14-day lockdown in New South Wales. We were requested to provide this assistance program with for those people that are in lockdown and studying. And so each weekday, we're going to be presenting some of that assistance. So today I'm looking at where you can go to get a specific activity and get specific help on it. But before we go there, I just want to show you a little short video about tunnel vision and making up your mind about something and it not being correct. So let's just have a quick look at it. You've got to watch it. You've got to read it. When it goes. So we're looking at fraud in this presentation today. So definition of fraud is a lie told to gain benefit, chattel or advantage. And I'm going to show you some examples of frauds in relation to that. So we've got a couple here. This one's a beauty. She's a lady in South Australia who lied on her CV about her application for a job. She was awarded a $300,000 a year job in government in South Australia, and now she's going to jail for that lie. The definition I told you was a lie told to gain a benefit, chattel or advantage. Now she got the advantage of that job. Other people who were far more qualified than her missed out on the job, and so she got the job. So she was found to be incompetent at it, found that she'd lied at it, and this was only after an investigation. This gentleman's famous in Australian history. He got a $400,000 a year job in Melbourne just through lying on his resume. He was charged with fraud by the Victorian police. You can Google his name and see what happened to him. This one's hot off the press, happened in Tasmania today. A horse breeder was jailed for defrauding the Commonwealth of $100,000. So it's very serious stuff in relation to what we do. There are serious outcomes. Our investigations are going to affect someone's reputation, someone's way of life, even potentially someone's freedom. So let's have a look at our little video that's going to help you today with one assessment activity. So what is fraud? Fraud, the definition that you should be using to make it simple for creating fraud control awareness is... Oops. So what is fraud? The simple definition is a lie told to gain a benefit, chattel or advantage. Here's a lady that lied on her CV to get a $300,000 a year job in South Australia in the public service, state public service there, and she's going to jail for her deception. This one was a very famous one in Australian history. A man got a $400,000 a year job at Myer in Melbourne in marketing, and he lied on his CV and he was charged by the police with fraud in that case. This one's the most recent one. It happened today in Tasmania. A northwest coast horse breeder was jailed for defrauding the Commonwealth of $100,000. You know what the penalty for fraud is in Australia? The maximum penalty for fraud in Australia is the same as the maximum penalty for murder.
In the Moodle
it's
menu,
14 years in
on
prison.
Diploma
Nobody ever
of
gets
Fraud
that
Control,
because we have a soft
scroll
justice
down
system.
to Coordinate Investigation Processes, and at the end of topic 1, use topic 1, you will see 8 examples of fraud in government. It's a YouTube playlist and it has a 3-question video in it that's very short, only goes 1 minute 30 seconds, that tells you how to finish any investigation. Really worth checking out that playlist. There's some good examples of frauds and what went wrong in government in that playlist, so you can plan your investigation assessment activity at the end of this unit. Fraud is not only conducted by hackers, it's also conducted, as you've seen here today, by people within government or aspiring to work for government. You're the investigator. Use those 3 questions in every investigation. So go to that playlist, follow the guide in the video to replay this video. If you want to watch it again, you just go to the Australian Security Academy's YouTube channel at 8 o'clock the next morning, and that video will be sitting there for you to replay. Now, at that same channel, that link that I told you about with those examples of fraud is available on that playlist as well. So follow the link in your Moodle resources for the Australian Security Academy Diploma and Advanced Diploma programs. When you look at that last video, the 3-question one, it's a really excellent guide on how to do an investigation. It gives 3 simple questions that you must ask yourself at each stage. You've got your instructions, you ask yourself those questions. You've got your first witness statement, you ask yourself those questions. You've got CCTV, you ask yourself those questions. You've got documentary evidence from bank records, you ask yourself those questions. Now, this can all be used in the first activity in the unit that we are talking about in this video today, the first assessment activity. So those 3 questions, if you look at them on the video, it says, what have I been given? What else might be available? And what else can I get? And when you've exhausted all those 3 questions answers all the way from the beginning to the end of your investigation, you know your investigation will be complete. Anything missing and your investigation's not finished. So follow that link, go and watch that playlist, see examples of frauds in action. The first one is about a man named Joel Barlow in Queensland. And it tells you in the video what went wrong. There was low-level compliance by staff on policy and procedure application. There was low awareness of the risk of fraud in that department. There was a failure to properly investigate complaints and audits, compliance audits. There was failures of financial management, failures of accountability, supervision, and failure utmost of management, which led to us being fraud investigators and being employed to investigate Joel Barlow's fraud. He's just one. You'll see a very creative lady in the health industry ripping off some people. There's a creative mechanic and a very, very creative fraudster in a diploma mill in a TAFE in Queensland. These are all very good examples of what can go wrong with people internally in government committing fraud. So it's not just people applying for benefits that commit fraud, but people who see weaknesses and vulnerabilities within government and take the opportunity that's presented to them to commit fraud. So thank you for watching today. I'll be back tomorrow with how do you go through the recognition of prior learning process in your study for Diploma of Government Investigation
Diploma of Government Fraud Control, Advanced Diploma of Government Investigation, Fraud Control and Workplace Inspection. I'm Mike Evans from the Australian Security Academy. I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.